A controversial abortion bill passes a major hurdle at the state capitol. Now the question, if signed into law, will the courts ultimately uphold it? The state house passed the measure last night as crossover day was winding down close to midnight. The bill bans most abortions after a fetal heartbeat can be detected. That can be as early as 6 weeks before many women even know they're pregnant. That's much sooner than the current Georgia law, which allows abortions up to 20 weeks. Exceptions will be allowed if a woman is raped or if there are health risks. The bill still needs to pass the state Senate, but it has Governor Brian Kemp's support.
This is a powerful moment in Georgia. It's bigger than politics and partisanship. Let's champion life today and ensure that all Georgians, including the unborn, have the chance to live, grow, and prosper.
Under the bill, doctors could face civil and criminal penalties. Women could face criminal penalties as well, civil penalties rather. Tennessee's House passed a similar bill last night. Other states have actually passed this law only to have the court strike it down later. But the GOP is hoping the controversy will make its way all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court and that new Republican appointees on the court would uphold it.